In the summer of 1942, a thin, underfed 19-year-old stood outside a U.S. Army recruitment office in Texas, repeatedly being told the same word. No. Audie Murphy was too short, too light, and looked too young to fight a war raging on the other side of the world. But the war had already taken everything from him. His father had abandoned the family. His mother had died when he was 16, and poverty had hardened him faster than childhood ever should have. Audie Murphy did not want adventure. He wanted purpose. Eventually, the army said yes. What followed would turn that fragile farm boy into a legend. Murphy was shipped to North Africa in 1943, where he got his first real taste of war. The heat was brutal, the terrain unforgiving, and the enemy ruthless. Unlike the heroic posters back home, war smelled of oil, blood, and fear. Murphy learned quickly that survival depended not on strength, but on awareness and speed. He was quiet, observant, and deadly accurate with a rifle. Older soldiers noticed that he rarely spoke, but when he did, it mattered. Italy came next. The Allied invasion of Sicily and the slow, grinding push up the Italian peninsula tested every soldier's limits. German troops held the high ground, forcing Americans to attack uphill through mud, rain, and artillery fire. Murphy distinguished himself repeatedly, volunteering for dangerous patrols and eliminating enemy positions under fire. When his platoon leader was killed, Murphy took charge without hesitation. He did not ask for permission. He simply acted. By 1944, Audie Murphy was no longer just a soldier. He was a weapon. But his most legendary moment came in January 1945, near the village of Holtzwihr, France. Murphy's unit, part of the 3rd Infantry Division, was holding a forest position when German forces launched a massive counterattack. Tanks rolled forward. Infantry poured out behind them. The Americans were outnumbered and outgunned. One by one, Murphy's men were killed or wounded. Ammunition ran low. Retreat seemed inevitable. Murphy ordered his remaining soldiers to pull back, to save themselves. Then he did something almost unthinkable. He climbed onto a burning, disabled tank destroyer, fully exposed to enemy fire, and picked up its .50 caliber machine gun. Flames rose beneath him. German bullets ripped through the air. Artillery exploded around him. Alone, wounded, and surrounded, Audie Murphy opened fire. For nearly 1 full hour, he held off an entire German assault by himself. He fired until the barrel burned hot, calling in artillery strikes by radio while standing in the open. German troops fell back, unable to understand how a single American was stopping them. When Murphy finally ran out of ammunition and collapsed from exhaustion, the battlefield was silent. The enemy had retreated. Audie Murphy had turned certain defeat into victory. For this action, he received the Medal of Honor, America's highest military decoration. By the end of the war, Audie had earned 33 medals and decorations, including the Distinguished Service Cross, Silver Star, and Bronze Star, making him the most decorated U.S. combat soldier of World War II. But victory did not mean peace. When Murphy returned home, America celebrated him as a hero. Parades were held. Newspapers praised him. Hollywood called. Yet inside, the war had not ended. He suffered from nightmares, insomnia, and what was then called battle fatigue, today known as PTSD. He slept with a loaded gun under his pillow. Sudden noises sent him back to the battlefield. The boy who had survived tanks and machine guns now fought an invisible enemy. Instead of hiding, Murphy chose to speak. He became one of the first public figures to openly talk about the psychological cost of war, demanding better treatment for veterans. In an era when silence was expected, his honesty saved lives. He also became an actor, starring in war films, including one based on his own memoir, To Hell and Back, where he played himself. Yet he never glorified war. Murphy often said that courage was not fearlessness, it was fear mastered. He did not see himself as a hero, but as someone who refused to let his friends die alone. He carried the weight of those he lost for the rest of his life. In 1971, Audie Murphy died in a plane crash at the age of 45. He was buried at Arlington National Cemetery. At his request, his gravestone was simple. No gold leaf, no decoration, just his name. Audie Murphy's story is not just about bravery. It is about endurance. about a boy who stood against impossible odds, not for glory, but for duty. In the chaos of World War II, when millions were swallowed by history, he proved that even one person alone, wounded and burning, could change the course of a battle, and that is why his name is remembered.